What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at my favorite team with Golurk as the closer for the Halloween Cup. I think there was a lot of hype around Golurk going into the Halloween Cup. We expected to see it on just about every team or every other team, and it hasn't quite lived up to that hype. In fact, when I built this team, I was like, it's going to be the team that if I can't beat opposing teams, I'm just joining them, right? I'm bringing my own approach to Golurk to match all the Golurks that I am seeing, but didn't see that many. But I decided to try this team out anyways, and it worked really well for me. In fact, I had a 69% win rate with it. I only played 3 sets and actually only played 3 battles in that first set. I ran a team with a Sableye lead that was horrible for those first 2 battles, and then I just switched it up. Went 3-0 there, and then I believe 2 more 3-2s. So I had 69% win rate, which was honestly I was very happy with. But I will warn you, this team is a bit toxic. We are leading Wigglytuff, Charm, Swift, Icy Wind. It's there to help against all of the dark types and all of the ghost types. Destroys things like Greninja, can beat things like Frostlass, and even puts up a fight against things like Azu. But we also have our safe swap, which is going to be Clodsire, running Poison Sting, Water Pulse, and Earthquake. Water Pulse specifically looking to target opposing Golurks. Like I said, when I built this team, I was really expecting there to be a super heavy amount of Golurks. I figured every time I bring in Clodsire, I'm going to see one. And you get to that Water Pulse, 1 Poison Sting before the Earthquake, so I figured they're not going to expect it, and maybe we can flip switch. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as the video goes on, why I might not actually recommend it outside of the whole Golurk thing. Alright, let's go ahead and get into some of these battles. Leave a like if you're new to the channel. Also hit that subscribe button. Let's go. Alright, into the first one. We do actually see the Golurk here on the lead. This is where we would love to keep it. They do 2 Mud Slaps, and then they swap out into a Galarian Weezing. Now, Golurk basically made of paper. We're just going to go ahead and shield up this Brutal Swing, and I'm going to throw this Shadow Punch immediately. That way they have to shield this if they want to get their second Brutal Swing off. Maybe we'd barely survive it. I don't really think so, so I probably would invest 2 shields. But here's what's really cool. Now we're only 3 Mud Slaps away from the Shadow Punch, and they were 2 away. So they technically could have beat me. I guess they probably have like a 1 or 2 attack, and they thought maybe they would win CMP. I don't know, but we won CMP there. So we're able to pull shield, bring back in Wigglytuff. In the back, they're going to have a Charm, Alolan Ninetales, and this game is just over since we are resisting the charms. All we have to do is no shield this Ice Weather Ball. And then I actually go for the Water Pulse. There's a few games that I was just kind of experimenting. I know Water Pulse is not a great move. It's non-stab, but I kind of just wanted to get a feel of how much it does. I could have just gone for the Earthquake and KO'd them, but this is actually even better because now I'm leaving with a Water Pulse ready to go that I can throw into their Golurk, and potentially I can end the game with the Swift even though it's double resisted. But you're going to see I'm just going to be able to get the Charm down here instead, and that's going to be GG's well played. Alright, into the next one, Wigglytuff, another Golurk lead. So I talked a little bit of smack about not seeing them every other game, but here we are, 2 of them in a row, and again, they swap out into a Poison type. Lots of Poison types, right? Either in the lead or in the back, so that's the reason we have double ground. Going to go ahead and shield up their first move. They did bait with the Aqua Tail, which would not KO, so now I want to throw this before they make it to the crunch. They do let their Drapion go down, and here we're just going to cleanly outpace them, right? I wanted to make sure they weren't going to catch, so I do pause a turn there. I'm going to get the Shadow Punch off. They have to shield this. They have to shield this, and I'm going to be able to bring Wigglytuff back in. Now, they did get 5 Mud Slaps there, so they will have a dynamic punch. It's non-stab. I decided to go ahead and no-shield it, expecting maybe another poison in the back. Going to actually be Mawile. Shadow Mawile, one of the glassiest Pokemon out there. And this really illustrates how bad Water Pulse is, because I'm going to go ahead and eat this Iron Head, and I'm going to throw the Water Pulse again, just kind of experimenting. I just want to know. How much does the Water Pulse do? Does it put them into Poison Sting downrange? No, not at all. That's horrible damage for a Shadow Mawile. Like, you expect it to do way more. But I should still be in a winning position. I'm hoping I didn't throw the game by not just going straight Earthquake. Water Pulse number 2 coming through, and at this point I can just Charm down before they make it to double Iron Head. So we're just going to go ahead and shield this up. Golurk has 0 energy. I should be able to just charm it down as well. In fact, 1 charm does it. So now we have the Swift ready to go, and that's going to be GG's well played. Into the next one, Greninja lead, Dream lead, and that's actually why I started running this team. It's just there were so many. I had 5 teams built, 5 teams built for the Halloween Cup. I think I'm going to end up featuring 4 of them. I did one on my live stream yesterday, 2 days ago when this video is uploaded, which did have Galarian Moltres. So if you're interested in some Galarian Moltres, I'll link it up here. Like, I don't know how many people rewatch old live streams, but there were some fun battles in it. Galarian Moltres, ton of fun to play. It's probably the weakest of my 3 teams. But I have another one with Shadow Beedrill that I'm hoping to be able to record a video for, that I had some really good climbs with. We're going to go ahead and take this Hydro Cannon here, not expecting them to be ABA weak to Wigglytuff. They're going to come in with Clodsire, and I go for the Icy Wind. And for the 3rd game in a row, I'm going to throw Water Pulse. Now this one is dumb. For some reason I was thinking Earthquake does like 45%, like less than half, and so I was thinking, oh, I'm going to need 2 moves regardless. I don't run a ton of Clodsire. Earthquake actually does 52, like almost 53%. So if I would have gone Earthquake, then I can Poison Sting / Charm down. No problem. Since I throw Water Pulse, we grab the shield there. We got to make it to another Water Pulse. And honestly, I have no idea where they're at. Or no, they still have their shield. They still have their shield. They're going to be able to get another Earthquake off here. And you can see, I still survive. So now I'm thinking, okay, if they're Stone Edge, they're probably 6 away. 2, 3, 4. And there was 1 that they'd already done. So that was 5. And they're Sludge Bomb. They're Sludge Bomb, so they get their 1 quicker. And I just completely just threw this game out the window. Would have been an easy win. Just go Quake. Water Pulse is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. All right, into the next one. Another Greninja lead. Great lead. They're going to swap out this time into Clodsire. And I'm going to form up here. I do respect the Earthquake. They did build up to it. Going to be the Sludge Bomb bait. Feels bad to shield that, but whatever. I mean, I'm still going to be able to win this matchup in every shield scenario. This is only going to be another Sludge Bomb, right? They don't win in the ones by baiting Sludge Bomb as long as you swap it pretty quickly. So we're going to eat that Sludge Bomb. They're going to come back in with the Greninja, and I'm just going to bait with the Shadow Punch. If they no-shield this, then who cares? They have to throw energy before I get to another one. Instead, they shield it, and now they have to throw it before I make it to the Dynamic Punch, or at least another Shadow Punch, which would have done quite a bit of damage regardless. In the back, they have a Shadow Beedrill, or not a Shadow, but a Shiny Beedrill, and I've learned my lesson at this point. I'm going to go straight for the Quake. No Water Pulses this time. Quake does pull the shield, of course. Like, I mean, they have the shield there in case I'm running Stone Edge. But we don't want to play our lose con and go Water Pulse, right? Because Clodsire does win this in the even shields. Actually, I don't know if it does if you don't have Stone Edge, because you're going to see, since they're non-Shadow, you're going to see they do actually survive this Earthquake. Not with a lot of HP, but with enough to get to another drill run. They swap out into Greninja. I'm anticipating that swap, so I swap pretty quickly as well. We know we will survive 1 Hydro Cannon, and there's just no way the Beedrill is ever getting 2 moves or farming us down. So that's going to be GG's well played to my opponent. All right, into the next one, Toxapex lead. Absolutely awful. We will be hard swapping out here into our Clodsire, and there it is, the Golurk. Now I'm going to throw on alignment because I don't want them to think this is an Earthquake. I want the no-shield here. I want them to think Stone Edge. It connects! And this is the moment. This is the moment! I realize when I simmed this, I had put Mud Shot on Clodsire. Because there's a lot of poisons out there. There's a lot of things that resist the poison fast move. I was simming with Mud Shot. We don't flip that switch now. With Mud Shot, you win against the Shadow in the zeros. You win against the non-Shadow in the ones. So you can even get to 2 Water Pulses and win that with Mud Shot. So if you want to run this team or if you want to run Clodsire with Water Pulse, you absolutely must run Mudshot. It's a must. And if there was only some way for me to know, right? If only I'd named my Clodsire to try to remind myself to TM it. Right. Anyways, into the next one. All right. Another tough lead. They answer my Clodsire with Guzzlord, which is honestly not the best answer for Clodsire, because Earthquake does two-shot here. They showed up the first Earthquake, but I'm going to be able to get a second one off before they throw again. This will be putting them into the yellow. And actually, I think Water Pulse will do it from here. If I had Sludge Bomb, I'd already be there, and I'd be chilling. I decided to no-shield this thing, I survive, and I do get DRE, which is just really lucky, to be honest. But we're going to take that. We're going to take that. We grab the second shield there. We're going to easily get the charm down. And it's all up to 2-shield Golurk to sweep here. They come out with a Sableye. I do throw a bad timing there. Don't do that. Don't be like me. But we get the Shadow Punch off anyways. And we just get the full farm down. We have 2 shields, so they had no real reason to throw there. And here, like, Golurk, very low HP. But these poison jabs are heavily resisted, right? Resisted by both the ground and the ghost typing. So we're going to be able to nearly make a second Shadow Punch. And at this point, we can just use our shields, get to the Swift, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. So a very fortunate win. Like, if I don't get DRE, we lose that game, but we'll take it. All right, Shadow Caesar lead. I guess I missed my swap there. It looked like I missed it. I thought that the game just didn't let me swap. I think it was user error, right? We're going to come in with Clodsire. This is honestly not a good matchup for Clodsire. If you haven't seen my Shadow Caesar video, check it out. I really love that team. That team's a ton of fun. And I focused these first few days on making content, so I've been using different teams, but that's probably the team I'm going to be running over the weekend, as I'm not as focused on making content because I'm just generally not able to record on the weekends. All right, so we do see the Greninja here. I'm able to keep my Clodsire alive, and I was able to bank a Water Pulse as well, so that might come in handy later on. We're going to get the full charm down here, but they of course are going to bring back in the Caesar. This is where Swift is nice to get a little bit of chip damage, but it's not going to do much, right? Swift, not the greatest move, but it definitely puts them in Water Pulse range. So I'm coming in ready to throw that Water Pulse, and the game says, nah, you don't get that. You don't get that. Instead, the Caesar gets to get a move off on your Golurk. You have to give up the final shield. In the back, going to be a Shadow Galarian Weezing. And if we have a shield, if that Caesar was taken out by the Water Pulse, easy win. Thanks, Niantic. Yeah, Niantic's been, the game's been a bit bad lately for me. There's been a lot of games that I've just lost because of Niantic, which we don't love. But anyways, into the next one. They say swap into Azumarill. I don't have a clear answer for this since my Clodsire doesn't have Sludge Bomb. So I'm going to actually stay in here and get the Icy Wind off. Put them into Earthquake range after a few more charms. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in here with Clodsire. I try to catch the Play Rough. They're never going to throw the Play Rough, but now this Ice Beam is debuffed. They're going to need 3 moves to KO me, and I only need 1 to KO them. They bring out a Venusaur. I think Venusaur is such a cool pick. I ran to a few. I've beat most of them, but I do think that it has a lot of play in this meta. Especially with all the Greninjas running around, right? I imagine if you're running Shadow Venusaur, you could just 2-shield and farm a Greninja all the way down, leave with 100 energy. I mean, of course, you'll want to throw at some point so that you're grabbing shields back from them as well. But yeah, I mean, Greninja, decently common safe swap. Of course, it does get walled by the Dark Poisons. So that's where it's not so good. There's not as many Mandibuzz as I expected. So don't have to worry about that too much. Anyways, I go ahead and sack my Wigglytuff there, just wanting them to offload some energy. I can't have this on my Golurk. So I'm going to come back in, get the Water Pulse off. Out comes the Azumarill. They throw really quickly here. And so I'm fine with just letting this go. Ice Beam does take me out. Coming in with the Golurk in the back, going to be a Morpeko, and we are just going to destroy this. Now, I know the Azumarill is not going to make another move. I know this is only a Psychic Fangs, but it's the last thing that we're going to have a chance to shield. So we're going to go ahead and just shield that up, and then could have gone for the fast move down, but I also realized I could just make 2 Shadow Punches, so we're going to play it out that way. That's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, I think they would have survived one more Mud Slap, so going for the Shadow Punches was the way to go. All right, we got one more battle. If you haven't left that like by now, go ahead and consider doing that. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're enjoying the Halloween Cup. I've had a lot of people come in and tell me that they are loving Great League Remix, and I have not tried it yet. I need to try it. So leave your team suggestions for Great League Remix if you've played that at all, because I have not even looked at the meta, to be honest. All right, we got another Azumarill safe swap here. I believe there's more Pico on the lead this time. Maybe it was last time too. I don't know. I wasn't paying that close attention. Y'all were, I hope. I saw a lot of Morpeko. I think it's Morpeko. With Azu in the back. They bring out a Frostlass now, and I'm perfectly comfortable going Water Pulse because they're going to expect the Stone Edge, except for this one just doesn't. What? Hello? Huh? Alright, whatever. Gonna go for the second Water Pulse because at this point they do need to start shielding, and they will be forced to throw energy. They could have done one more Powder Snow there, but I'm happy to be able to let this go. Bring in my Wigglytuff and just do a ton of charm damage. I do need to shield this up because Golurk farming this down is just not going to happen without taking so much Powder Snow damage. So now Azu comes back in. I'm thinking, okay, I can Mud Slap this down and leave with a Shadow Punch, basically ready to go for that Frostlass. They do still have a shield. I know this Morpeko is not really going to do anything to me. And again, same scenario. We know that Frostlass is not going to make it to another Avalanche. So we're going to shield up these Psychic Fangs, keep the HP on our Golurk, and now we have the back-to-back Shadow Punches ready to go. First one should grab the shield. Second one will be taking them out. And yeah, they actually do shield it. I thought maybe they just let it go, but yeah. So that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Yeah, this team worked really well for me. It's a bit RPS. It's a bit toxic is what it is. I don't run toxic teams often, but it just seemed good for the meta. Like, good into this meta. Maybe not good for the meta. Like, I don't want to see a lot of more toxic teams out there, but good against the meta at least. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.